gang. Hey, nothing but love and respect. You might have some cool fans, but mine are the best. We've been through it all, went to war when duty called. Never left a man behind, we move as one is super strong. I don't want followers, that implies I'm the leader. I'm not the captain, I just gave them something they can believe in. I hold the lamp in the darkness, but they're the light that I needed to see the road that we walk in between the angels and demons. And my fans have my back. Hate us if your feelings don't like facts. And my fans will fight back. Beat you with the keyboard you've been using to write back. I guess we need each other like both sides of the battery. We the army, we the homies, we the gang, we the cavalry. We're brothers and sisters, we hold it down like we gravity. Can't nobody break the bond that made us all family. Me and my fans, we don't care what anybody say. Middle fingers to whoever in a way, man. Me and my fans, we gon' be together to the grave. It's a gang till forever and a day, man. Me and my fans, we don't even trip with the hate. We got all in our veins, man. Me and my fans, we the hangover gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Oklahoma weather can dish out some of the worst punishment in the world. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Tuttle. But now you can fight back by installing Class 4 impact-resistant shingles from Ferguson Roof Systems. These shingles can withstand large hail, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds, all while keeping your home safe and dry. And the best part? This upgrade is completely free for many homeowners. So call today to start reaping the benefits these Class 4 shingles bring, including a discount on home insurance. Only at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
Hey there, meteorologist Tuttle back with you again. It is Sunday night. It's about 9:40. We're going to talk about the storms that are out there currently, kind of give you an update on what's happening with those, and then we're going to talk about your forecast here for the remainder of tonight and tomorrow as more severe weather is expected. So thanks for liking, sharing this video to your friends and family. Just post it on your wall real quick. Make sure you spread the word about AT's weather during the spring storm season. That way everybody can get their information without all the hype and drama and overreaction to everything. Our society is nothing but an overreaction. I'm over it. So we're going to keep it nice, calm, cool, and collected here when it comes to the weather. So you've come to the right place if you want a lot of education information when it comes to severe storms, how they happen, the ingredients, what makes or breaks an event, that kind of deal. So you've come to the right place for all that. Okay, so let's get on here. I'm going to show you a few things here for tonight. First thing, last night we talked about this time tomorrow, so this was last night, so 24 hours, we'll be seeing some lightning in the background from storms out west. And lo and behold, look at all that lightning flashing off in the distance here on the AT's weather cam. So nice shot out there. So some good electrical storms, got some good rainfall with them coming in just on the west sides of the metro. In parts of western and southwestern Oklahoma, from some storms that started to develop. It took their time. About 7:30, they finally started getting going. So they're a little late, and then that helped to reduce any major severe weather potential because they kind of ran out of daylight, right? But they did produce a little bit of hail. So the highest amount, let's see, Doppler radar estimated was about 1.25 inch size hail, and then I did see an inch report so far. So that's what's going on out there currently. All right, let's take a look at the radar view. And we will show you the latest. This is a look here at Oklahoma City. So we do have some light and lighter rain moving through town here, right across downtown area, and points out to the east and west. No big deal there. Some heavier showers around the Minco, Union City, and Tuttle area. And then the real action is down here on Gracemont and Adarco. This is a severe thunderstorm warning down here. This particular case, it expires about 10:15 tonight. Moving to the east about 33 miles per hour. Hail, once again, about 1 inch in diameter. Locations, Chickasha and Adarco, Verdon, Amber, Lake Chickasha, and La Verde, up through about in the next half hour. And there's your time of arrival, up to about 10:37 for Blanchard, if that storm even holds together that long. They've been kind of weakening with time in this area of the state. They're still going to go a little stronger, though, once you get down to southwest Oklahoma. A little bit better instability down here. This particular storm just now turned severe, literally, as we were looking at it. So severe thunderstorm warning, brand new issued for them to about 10:30. This is north of Medicine Park, north of Lawton, includes Cooperton, Mears, Boone, northern Wichita Mountains, wildlife refuge for, again, about 1 inch size hail. So good news is no tornadoes occurred here this evening, and I do not expect any overnight, but that will not be the case tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that as well. All right, so let's take a look here at the big picture. So the severe weather threat kind of diminishes here for the remainder of tonight, but will kick back up again for tomorrow. Does include the southern parts of Oklahoma on into Texas. So this is an enhanced risk. It's quite a bit of a large area of coverage from central North Texas to eastern Texas to Louisiana and points eastward from there. The little brown area is the tornado risk. The little green is a very slight risk of a tornado. We'll show you that here in a second. But you can see that encompasses a pretty large area. And then on the bottom left panel, we're looking at the hail. In the bottom right panel, the damaging wind. So it's a pretty significant event here for a large area of people. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm potential for tomorrow here in Oklahoma itself. And that does include our southern counties. So basically the southern third of the state is going to get the action for tomorrow. Central northern sides, we're not expecting any severe weather at all. And this extends on down south into Texas with borderline severe weather as far as tornadoes, golf ball size hail, and about 60 or so mile per hour winds. Better opportunities as you get right along the Red River and then points to the south. If we look at Tulsa, same kind of idea. Better potential for severe storms way down south of McAllister near the Red River. We did talk about the tornado potential. It comes to just about Lawton and Ada and then points south and east from there. If we do look at the satellite viewpoint, this is the water vapor channel. The main upper level of the storm system is out here across California, Nevada. But out ahead of it is a lot of instability and some lift in the atmosphere, and that's helping generate our first round of showers and storms that are moving on through. And if we take a look now at the actual picture of the model data, which shows the upper level storm system itself, the brighter the colors indicates the most lift in the atmosphere. You can see how that's coming our way as we head into Monday. So this is the trough axis moving through the central southern plains all the way down to Baja, Mexico. So this will be the kicker for showers and storms along its wake. Now this will come through tomorrow night. So once that does, it clears the area and takes the precipitation along with it. Now we can look also below that level of the atmosphere, kind of at a lower level, and we can look at the vertical velocities. In other words, really things get kicking off. And here today we had the dry line fire up along with the cold front, and that helped to kick off those storms out western Oklahoma this evening. Now you can see how that lift moves into southern Oklahoma over the next couple of hours through midnight and then into eastern Oklahoma overnight. Then as we head to tomorrow, not as bright colors for most of the day until we get into the afternoon period, late afternoon and evening. You can see a lot more of those brighter colors showing up here across the southern third of the state on into North Texas. That's most of your lift for tomorrow. So that's the focus for most of the heavier showers and storms. You can see those really get going as we head into the early evening hours for tomorrow. And look at that, just going by midnight. So some big showers and storms in that region. That moves into Arkansas and points southward. So that is just the lift in the atmosphere indicated by the model data. Now today, the biggest thing we lacked was low-level moisture. It was ankle deep, mixed out pretty good. We did have enough of it, though, accumulating out here in the west. So this was called moisture convergence from the dry line and the cold front. So that's dew points going up to the mid to upper 50s in this area. I never did see any low 60s, so I think the model data got a little excited. Had we saw those 60s, I think we'd have a better shot at seeing a tornado out here, and we just didn't happen, so that limited that aspect of it. Kept the cloud bases too high. So if the model had been more correct, then yep, we would have seen a tornado out there, but it didn't happen today, so that's fine with me. I'll take the bust on that part of the forecast. The rest of it, though, look pretty good. If we look down south, though, most of the good juice is along the coastline of Texas. As we head into tomorrow, watch what happens. All activity moves up to the north. You see all those warm, juicy dews? These are mid-60s, so that's really what you need for a good tornado event and a good heavy thunderstorm, severe weather event, and that includes North Texas, Red River, and the far southern counties here of Oklahoma late tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then that activity kind of gets cleared out a little bit. On Tuesday, we're going to kind of have a resurgence. Cold fronts coming in, so some of these may make a little run to the border at the last minute. So there could be some more severe weather down here in North Texas and maybe along the Red River Tuesday in the evening hours. But that front's moving back pretty quick. You can see how the drier air is coming in. Dew point value of 38. So now we're talking. Look up here in the panhandle. Dew point value of 2. That'll make your skin crack instantly. That's nasty. All right, so let's take a look at the next map we got for you. Now, this is the dew point also, but I've got the winds overlaid on it, and I want to show it to you because I want to show you where the boundary is for the front and where the action kind of puts the brakes on. So this is 7 o'clock on Monday, and if I were to draw our little surface low, let's see here. This is a convoluted map, but it's going to be northwest of Dallas. This is going to be kind of southeast of Wichita Falls area. And this is a really ugly map, but there's a little boundary, cold front boundary. Actually, you know what? Let's make it a warm front. So let's make it a stationary warm front, about like so. So usually what we have is this is called the warm sector, and this is where you get your mess of thunderstorms. Some of these will potentially produce some tornadoes, and you're going to have some large hail in this, that kind of deal. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on. From this area of low pressure points to the east along the Red River, down to North Texas, and up to this warm front. So it does include the southern third of Oklahoma for a potential for a tornado. That kind of gets close to where we saw that outlook from the National Weather Service. All right, now if we do look though at the best shear and the best cape, believe it or not, it's going to be down south into the Dallas-Fort Worth area and points just a little south from there, where cape values get up around 2,000. The shear in the atmosphere is really good. Photographs very good, very good. Classic profile for a supercell. So honestly, I do expect several tornadoes tomorrow, late afternoon and evening across northern Texas, and those will move into eastern and northeastern Texas. And yeah, I still think we'll have a couple of those here across the southern counties of Oklahoma. Okay, so where is the best ingredients for tornadoes? All right, well, this is a look at the significant tornado parameter. This is where you're talking about a significant tornado around an EF2 in strength. And where you have the brighter colors indicates the better ingredients for that. So if you look here, there's also some brighter colors anchored right around and near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if I were just to kind of pick the most favored spot, this is what storm chasers do all the time. They pick the best looking area and they cross their fingers and hope for it, right? Just kind of give you an idea, if that were to be the case, your tornado potential goes up to about an EF3 in strength, and you get very, very nice shear, plenty of instability, K values 1 to 2,000. Let's see, helicity values are up around 300 plus meters squared per second squared, so yeah, it's a no-brainer. But the hail size, good grief, that says 3.5 inches. So you might end up with some pretty good hail out of some of those supercell type storms down here, but I think we're going to kind of have a squall line type complex, so it's going to be kind of a hybrid system. It won't be all supercellular, kind of a mixed bag, and that can sometimes help limit the tornado threat. So here's a look at how the radar ought to finish for the remainder of tonight. This is your future forecast here in your radar animation. So of course, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, there's those storms moving through central and southern Oklahoma, kind of redeveloping overnight. So this first wave just kind of continues. That front, cold front, is in the area, so it's just stuff to our north. So it's going to kind of hang around, and that'll be the focus for these showers and storms that move through. Here's 5 o'clock in the morning moving through Tulsa. 6 o'clock, so some sprinkles here in Oklahoma City. Heavier rain showers in Tulsa. Then there's 8 o'clock, more heavy rain moves through. So kind of off and on, light to moderate rain overnight into tomorrow, kind of anchored across the, let's just say this quadrant of the state is the favored zone overnight tonight. All right, so if you live anywhere in this little red box, you're going to get off and on rain overnight tonight into tomorrow. Now, you can see several ways kind of come and go. Yeah, here's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, here's 4 o'clock, here's 5 o'clock. I will say this is interesting. With the cold front kind of doing a little snaky, look to the right about here, and we could easily make this kind of a stationary front. Kind of depends on if it's moving or holding up shop for a minute. But there are a couple of models that hint at one of these storms around the Lawton area may anchor to this front and produce either some large hail, some damaging winds, and or potentially a tornado. Now that's a little bit north of the threat zone, and it's in the middle to latter part of the afternoon, so like anywhere from 2 to 4 o'clock, kind of somewhere in that time, that little sweet spot, right? We'll see if it happens. I'm not completely sold on it. It's just a little outlier signal. It got my attention. But other than that, I'm kind of focused more on the southern counties that anchor the Red River and on into North Texas. So here's 8 o'clock. You see those shower storms heaviest down there along the Red River into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I'll zoom into Dallas here in a second. Otherwise, off and on showers still continue into central Oklahoma through Monday night into early Tuesday mornings. They kind of move out and leave the state. We will see additional showers and sprinkles across the eastern half of the state right here, Tuesday night and Wednesday morning as another front moves through, but you can see there's no severe weather with that. There's nothing heavy, so that's a nothing burger. Okay, so here's a look at the North Texas area. So if you guys are watching me down there in North Texas and Dallas, some overnight showers and a couple thunderstorms to your north tonight, no big deal. And then here we go. So from Wichita Falls to the east, this is kind of in the idea of that meso-low. kind of centered in this vicinity. And out ahead of it is the warm sector. So this is where you're going to get your bubble up of some just random showers of storms and some supercells that kind of bubble up in this region through the afternoon and evening. Then you're going to kind of get a line that'll move through late evening. So as we head to 10 o'clock to midnight. So this will be a squall line then that moves on through. So any particular point in time in the evening hours through it along with the squall line, you can get a tornado either the supercell kind, which is just from the storm itself, or from the leading edge of a squall line. And we call that the QLCS type. So I just want to give you guys an update what's happening down there in North Texas. Now on Tuesday, does it do anything there? No, it keeps you dry for the front on Tuesday because it comes in really late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So doesn't have any more storms for you then. Okay, let's see. We've already looked at the significant tornado parameter, but it's down here across North Texas along the Red River. It's where you see the colors. So we've already taken care of that. The best wind damage potential will be in North Texas as well. So these are pockets of 60 to 70 to maybe as much as 80 miles per hour in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So not only do you have to deal with the potential tornado in the Metroplex, but you're also going to have to deal with some damaging wind. Okay, rainfall amounts. So the models will try to do their best job at saying where the heaviest rain will be, and it's going to kind of blend it out. So it's calling widespread 1 inch of rain from the I-44 corridor all the way southwest to northeast, with heavier amounts the further south and southeast you go into North Texas. Now, each model will say something different. I happen to like this one better, where it's going to have pockets of 1 to 2 inches in these little pink to red areas, scattered out and about. It will not know the exact spot, but that's the signal, and I like the signal. It's been consistent for the last few days. Otherwise, some very heavy rainfall down here in southeastern Oklahoma and northern Texas. Some of these amounts up around 3 to 4 inches, so some brief flash flooding could occur, especially down here along the Red River Valley. Okay, that takes care of the severe weather, takes care of the rain, timing and all that kind of stuff. Now, I know you did it, because I did it. It was so nice this weekend. You put some plants out, didn't you? Some of you may even did a little digging. To let you know, we're not done yet with Old Man Winter. Meaning, our last freeze typically is going to be in the first to second week of April across northwestern Oklahoma, right about now here for central Oklahoma, and then usually it's in March down here for southern parts of the state. However, that's on an average. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Because as we head into the end of the week, Friday morning, you see these little areas of green that we're down to the mid-30s. So we're going to either have a little bit of frost and or light freeze in some of the low-lying valleys. We're going to get a little mixture of some 30s out there along with some 40s, and that's on Friday morning. There's a better opportunity for a freeze, I think, on Saturday morning than it is Friday. I think as long as we can time it out right with clear skies, light winds, all that kind of stuff, but still a lot more 30s out there sneaking in with some 40s. Now, pretty much, if you're susceptible to a late season freeze based off your geography, right, your terrain, if the cold air pools down into your backyard. So if you live in a valley, for example, versus being on a hill, that's how you know you're in trouble. So what you have to do, you have to cover up your plants or bring them in. That's it for those 2 days, Friday and Saturday morning later this week. Now, is that it? Or are we done? Or do we have another one? Well, glad you asked that question. Let's go take a look. I told you. Messy. All right, let's see what happens here. What time is that? That is, interesting. Okay, good. So this is some new model data that came in. Did it drop the freeze, the extended freeze in the latter part? Oh, right now it's going pretty warm. That's good. The earlier data had a late season freeze or frost around the 17th and 18th of April. So this model run seems to have backed off that for now. Now it's a midday run. It's just one. I'm not going to hang my hat on it yet. The signal for the last couple of days has been for it to be cold around the 17th and 18th for the potential frost or freeze. So you're going to have to kind of pay attention because, again, that will be the time to watch for that type of a situation. But for right now, at least the data that just came in this afternoon, that looks pretty good. But we shall see. Okay, so overnight lows, we're going to gradually get you a little colder every night leading up to Friday and Saturday here in Oklahoma City Metro, for example. Daytime highs also getting a little bit cooler after, of course, tomorrow because of the clouds and the rain. Well, nice rebound on Tuesday before the front comes in the evening. Otherwise, 60s for daytime highs, and then this upcoming weekend looks fantastic once we get past that Saturday morning cold start. And then the weather looks really good after that. This goes to the 14th. Daytime highs getting back up to around 80. Overnight lows getting close to 60. So what does this mean? This means right here, actually from this day here to this period here, the Bermuda is going to start to love it. It really loves it when these ground temperatures air temperatures get down to about 60 degrees and daytime highs get up around 80. It starts to grow. So expect your grass to start growing if you want to throw in a little fertilizer on there or something for it, get it going. Okay, so that is what I have here for you for the extended. So it was a long discussion tonight, but this is a Sunday night, and it took us 15 minutes. That's not bad to tell you everything there is to know. I think that's pretty good. All right, so I think that's everything I want to show you. Let me go look at a couple of your questions and comments and concerns, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, pull this up. By the way, last week I did make the note that I am broadcasting live on Rumble now. So if you guys are not big YouTube fans for whatever reason, or Facebook fans, you can watch on Rumble. And they're still working out things on their end to make that experience a little bit better for content creators. So I'm kind of an early adopter in the live capability for them, but I'm working with them directly to kind of make that experience better. So that's good. So I've got Rumble's ear. So which I can't say about YouTube or Facebook, but that's okay. I did have Facebook's ear back in the early day, 2014. When I was doing live weather back then, as I was the only one. So, of course, I got their ear then. Now they're like, who's this Aaron guy? I'm too busy for him. But that's okay. It's the way it is. So, yeah, Joe Farmer just saw that there on YouTube. So, yeah, you can always check me out there. Okay, and then eventually Gab TV will get their live servers going. And once that happens, I'll go live on Gab. And so if you guys on Twitter, I know there's just a few of you that watch on Twitter, I'm going to have to probably kick you off and push you to one of the other platforms, be it Rumble, YouTube, Gab, or Facebook, to save myself some bandwidth. And because what happens is I take every stream and I process it all directly. I don't go through a restreaming service, so I'm doing it all on a what you would consider a gaming box that I built back in 2014, back before that was even a thing. Because I had to crank out as what I could get out of a machine to be able to do this. So I'm maxed out at 4 just for bandwidth and CPU and everything else. But I'm gonna have to build a new build this year, and the prices on everything. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, everything's gone up. The graphics card, of course, is stupid. The motherboards now, which used to be a nothing thing. I mean, motherboard was like an afterthought. Nope. That's a huge thing now because they have to adapt all these new technologies for USB, Thunder, whatever, C, this, that, and the other, dash, and then everything else that goes along with it, from Wi-Fi to Bluetooth to new things. So anyway, so I got to build that here over the spring and summer, so that'll be fun. But that'll get me going for the next 8 years. This computer build I did has lasted me 8 years before it finally started to kind of show some signs of crying uncle. So that's good. So if you ever see some hiccups with me on these live broadcasts, just know that my computer is on its last leg. So be patient until I can build a new one. And if you'd like to support me in that effort, I did make a post on Facebook where you can become a Facebook fan subscriber, or you can join Patreon or YouTube fan subscriptions. All it does is just helps me to fund all this stuff that I do. So, okay, let's just mute you. I don't need to hear all that nonsense. And let me go to guys on Facebook here, see if there's any questions for me. So, gardening Sheena. I hope you weren't gardening already. If you did, you're going to protect those plants. That does look like a very active tornado season for us. I get asked this every year. Google Plus, Noah, just saw that. Tiger Safari. Okay, so, sorry, I read comments as I try to think at the same time, and that can be entertaining. By the way, thank you for the stars tonight. I see many of you threw some my way, so I always appreciate that. And Josh, yeah, you're getting some heavy rain there, Tuttle. I'll take a look at the radar real quick before we sign off to see if anything's changed, but I don't expect much. And we'll see if there's any hail with that as well, which there has been some hail in some of those. Okay, so the question was, tornado season. Didn't work. I've tried it. It just doesn't work. There was even 3 really smart guys, research PhDs. One of them I know personally because I went to school with them at A&M. And they were on a platform where they were trying to do it seasonally. And I think they did it for 5 years. And at first, like, they knew what they were doing. In the last 2 years, no. So, in the end, they're proved. So here's the deal, and this is like works out for the energy sector, in trading. If you can get this much edge, this much, just this is all you got to make money. All right, so that goes with anything in an investment when you're talking about stocks, crypto, whatever. If you can get this much, and you can get it right that many more times, you're making money. All right, so it's a lucrative deal. So you got to try it, right? Anyway, so they tried it and it didn't work out so well. So there really wasn't a whole lot of skill, and definitely not predictable skill. So a lot of times it's the old broken clock goes right twice a day, right? Depends what kind of clock you have. So anyway, but yeah, there you go. So there's your long answer to your question. So I just take it as it comes. We average about 55 tornadoes a year. I can tell you the last couple of years we've had a lot less of the supercellular type and a lot more of the QLCS type. And let me see something. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Supercell. Let me see. I don't even know if this is made. I haven't had time to make one. And so I was going to see if there was an easy graphic explainer that I could just pull up real quick for comparison. And I meant to do this like the other day, and then I saw a squirrel. So, yeah, no one's made that. It figures. Let me see here. Let me try this. Hold on, I haven't given up just yet. Give me 2 seconds. I can do it. I think I can do it a different way. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. It's too technical. I need something easy. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Let's see. Is it gonna be too technical? Hold on. Let me see if it's too technical. Ooh. This might work. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, of course, that would be like the tiniest picture I could find. Oh, don't you have a better picture than that? Come on, man. Oh, so close. Hey, when you do this on the fly, you gotta have a little patience. But I think I'm gonna get the answer. Just gotta wait for this thing to launch. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Let me put this up. Okay, so when we talk about a supercell tornado, this is a look at a supercell thunderstorm. Okay, so it's a storm all by itself, just one storm, very big, very large, and it looks kind of like this. You have a nice anvil that looks like a UFO type top of it. You got a little overshooting top, it's like a cotton ball on top of that. Of course, you have your big dark area of the thunderstorm, and you have your heavy rainfall there, your rain shaft, rain curtain. And then between that, you have a little dry slot, and then you have the wall cloud, it's a little lowering, and then you have the tornado. So that's what you typically see coming at you. And if you see this coming at you, you obviously want to be in your shelter. So this is what we call the typical tornado from a supercell thunderstorm. All right, so that is what we would normally see. And for the longest time, it's all we ever talked about. We did not ever talk about these QLCS type tornadoes. now we do. So let me do this. Okay. So this is a mesovortice. And this is similar to a tornado. So it's an area of spin in the atmosphere. But instead of it being a supercell storm, it's on the leading edge of a squall line. So this is basically a picture of your squall line. And this is going to be your little inflow notch right here. This is going to be like your little area of low pressure. Usually have a rear level jet that comes in like so. So you get these little circulation vorticities that spiral into this little area. And as they do, they spin up and they can produce little what I call baby tornadoes. This is what you would call a QLCS. Stands for quasi-linear convective system. Right, it's easier to say QLCS. Tornado. And this is what that storm would look like here if you looked at it from, if you were to cut a slice of it in half. So it's a lot different shape, completely different dynamics and everything from a supercell storm. And so this is what we call basically a squall line. And so that's how you can get this updraft, this slanted updraft that goes up like so, and it pulls in. I gotta find out what that is. Anyway, so it pulls in those little vorticities spinning up in this updraft and it stretches it. And so that's how you get those little tornadoes that last. Now, the difference is between the two, the supercell type tornado can last for hours, honestly. Usually they don't last that long. They last usually in the minutes category, right? Sometimes it can be tens of minutes, but it's usually in the minutes. So it's for it to go more than an hour is a freak deal already. But it's still long term, right? You don't want to see a tornado on the ground that long. That's crazy. Now, these QLCS type tornadoes, because of the way they're so transient, the way they work, they usually last for about a minute. Maybe 2, maybe 3 at most. So they're very, very short-lived. And because of that, they're a lot weaker. Both because of time constraints and also just because of the way they're formed. They don't have time to really do a whole lot of damage. And they're different processes. So they just usually don't have the strength. Now, I say that, and I have seen a QLCS get to what we all call an EF3 rating, but I only saw it happen once. The rest of them have been EF0, EF1s. I think I saw a couple of EF2s. So, but that's on the outlier. So most of them are EF0 to EF1 tornadoes, whereas a supercell can go to EF5. They can go to the big ones. So that's the major difference between the two. So if you hear a forecast that calls for supercell tornadoes versus QLCS squall line type tornadoes, you want to root for the QLCS. I mean, you don't want to root for you don't want to root for either one. If you had to have one, pick your poison. Go for the QLCS because it's weaker, shorter lived, less of an impact overall, okay, than the other. Now, keep in mind, each one is a needle in a haystack and will affect very few people. So you're not looking at a really difference on coverage area. Unless that supercell when it just goes for a long time, it just keeps on keeping on, right? That's the only difference there. But if it's on a scale of a few minutes, like the QLCS one, then that's not much different. Let's see what else. They both counted the same. In the old days, they didn't really count them because they didn't know what to do with them. Because you're going to skew the numbers if now we're counting what they really didn't consider a tornado. Which is getting into the semantics of a bunch of dorks arguing over thermodynamic processes in physics. So because of that, it took a while to figure out how to classify these and what to do with them. In the end, they figure it's a violently rotating column of air at the basic definition of it. Therefore, that's what it's going to be called, which equals a tornado. So now they're official tornadoes. They're just created a different way. And therefore, they go in the record books, just like any other tornado. So in Oklahoma, last couple of years, we've seen more of those than we have the supercell. Oddly enough, though, the numbers haven't changed. We still average 55 a year. Now, of course, some years have a little bit more, some years a little bit less, but that's kind of how that breaks down. But it's the same. You take shelter from a QLCS tornado just like you would a regular. I will say this. The QLCS ones are a little more difficult to predict and to locate because they have to be closer to a radar. They're usually much smaller, they're lower to the ground, So the radar beam will overshoot them and or not detect them because the circulation centers are so much more narrow. In other words, the width or the size of the tornado is much smaller. So they're a little more difficult to pinpoint and find. So you won't get all of them, which is a frustrating part from a standpoint of the warning coordinating meteorologist that's trying to warn for these type of tornadoes, right? The other night we were looking at raw data. I was telling you that, and I showed you what you have to do, and it is daunting. You basically just have to go down the line looking for little bitty eddies. Okay, check one. Go back again. Go back again. Every 30 seconds, you're scanning, because these seeds can develop from 0 to 60. It can not be there, and all of a sudden it's there. So, talking about fatigue, eye fatigue, brain fatigue, that'll do it. So that's another reason. It's the human interaction picking these things out. So that's problematic. But anyway, so that's kind of a little QLCS type mini impromptu discussion. One of these days I'm going to get graphics and stuff set up for it. And speaking of which, I'm glad I said that, because that kind of leads me into my next point. So I put a post up tonight. About once or sometimes twice a year, I will do what they call just a weather talk in the TV business. So when I was at Channel 5, we'd go around and talk usually to schools and businesses and emergency management outfits, whatever. We'd give them a presentation on severe weather, what to look for, how it forms, how to protect yourself, safety, all that kind of stuff. So every now and then I'll get asked to do that, and I'll do that. But I have not done it on live, just through this platform. So that, you know what, I'm going to do it. So for my supporters that have been supporting me for who knows how long, either from day one or just recently, everybody's in that group. I'm going to do a live broadcast for you guys on this weather talk. And so if you'd like to be a supporter and join so you can participate in this event, it'll be a closed group event. You can sign up. In this video, in this link, there'll be a website link. You can tap the description in this video. It'll show you a link where you can donate, become a Facebook supporter. You can become a YouTube subscriber. There's Facebook fan subscriptions. There's Patreon, Subscribe Stars. There's a few of them in there you can do. And that gets you into that, I guess you can call it a class or a seminar, whatever you want to call it. But it'll be very educational, so it'll be great for the family, the kids. They can learn about severe weather and what to expect. So that'll be good. I'll probably put that together over the coming days, and then I'm looking about the 12th or 13th. So that's a Tuesday or Wednesday. There's going to be severe weather that week. So obviously I'm not going to do it on a night where there's severe weather. So I kind of have to figure out the time on that. So look for an announcement I'll put on my Facebook wall. I'll do an event. And then I might offer a paid event option as well. So if you don't want to be a supporter, you can at least do the paid event just for the one-time deal. So I may figure that out too. I'm going to play with the Facebook options so you guys can join that way. And then so it'll probably be on Facebook only. So if you guys like to watch typically on YouTube or Twitter or Rumble, that's not set up for that, so you might have to just watch it on Facebook. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll see what options I have here for you. Meanwhile, take one more look at the radar, and then we're gonna get out of here. So let's chat you real quick. All right. So somebody mentioned it's raining heavy, earlier in Tuttle and south sides of Oklahoma City. There's more Norman, raining pretty heavy, pretty loud. McLeod, a little bit of lightning up there. Otherwise, nothing severe. Down to Blanchard, down the Turnpike, I-44 to Chickasha, Grady County, Ninica. So some showers and storms there. This is a pretty good heavy little thunderstorm. Has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. Let's see, moving to the east at 35. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. Chickasha, Blanchard, Alex, Amber, Norge, Middleburg, Tabler, and Ninica. All on the path of this particular severe thunderstorm. And then you have one more. That's severe. The north end of Medicine Park through Boone has had so far 1-inch size hail reported. So there's an official place 2 miles east of Mears. So it does have severe size hail in it. Barely. It takes 1-inch size hail to be considered severe. And it's also moving to the east at about 35 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds, and quarter size hail is expected. And we have Elgin, Apache, Fletcher, Surreal, Lake Ellsworth, Boone, northeastern Fort Sill, and Stecker in the path of this particular storm over the next half hour. So that's it. Those are the only 2 severe storms in the state. So I don't expect anything crazy out of these, which is good. I'll take a quick look here at the velocity data. And let's get this updated. Yep, everything looks like it's behaving, so that's good. No rotation tracks or anything like that. So we're good to go there. Okay, so I just want to take one quick little peek at that before I let you go. Alright, so I think I've got everything mentioned that I wanted to. Thanks again for you guys commenting and hanging out and communicating there on YouTube. Jody's always in there, throwing down the hammer. She keeps you guys in check. Actually, honestly, since the early days, we don't get trolls really anymore, which is great. I think most of those people got tired because, why would you troll here? It's dumb. But so the rest of you guys, man, are awesome. So we got a great community, good family type atmosphere. So that's awesome to see. And then, what other thing was it? There was something. I'll think of it here in a minute. What is it? I don't remember. It's getting late. Alright, tell you what, I'm going to sign off. But I will be back tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, I can do a Facebook Live at noon tomorrow. So we'll do a live at noon. We'll get an update on how things are looking, see if anything's changed as far as the tornado threat, if any of the location has changed or anything. Otherwise, we'll watch it tomorrow evening and see how that goes. I don't know how long I'll be able to do cut-ins or whatever. I'm not sure what mood I'm going to be in. Like, what does that mean? Because I'm at that age, and you know where I'm going with this. Every person has to have it done. I'm getting mine done on Tuesday morning. Starts with a C. And you got to drink this really big jug. So I'm not going to have any food tomorrow. Just going to be drinking and eating some broth and gelatin. So I may be hangry. If you don't know what hangry means, it means angry and hungry at the same time. So if I've got to cover tornadoes, it might be hangry tornado coverage. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, all right. There's that white box again. I got to figure out where that's coming from. Seriously, what is that stupid white box? They just started popping up here recently. I got to figure something out. I updated some software, and then all of a sudden it's come up. So now I got a gremlins. All right, that's it for me. You guys have been good. Thanks again for watching tonight, your support, and we shall do all this all over again tomorrow. You guys take care. Thanks again. I hope you had a great weekend, and hope you have a great work week. Make sure you read the blog and share that one. It's got a very short version summary of everything we talked about tonight. Okay, guys, take care. Sleep well. Good night.